What's going on, guys? It's Jake here from Chief Live Gaming. Today, a tutorial video for you guys. This is going to be a two-part video series where we paint a Nurgle Plague Hulk, the model you see right in front of you. So, the first part, what you're watching now, we're going to paint the bulk of the model. So, things like the skin and the rust, all the parts, the mechanical parts that are rusted out, we're going to paint those up. And in the second part of the video, we're going to come in with the details, the special effects, and finish the model off. So without further ado, let's start into part one. We're going to get him painted up to exactly how you see him right in front of you. So even though we're using a Nurgle Plague Hulk in this example, you could use these color schemes for pretty much any Nurgle model and it'll turn out just fine. Okay guys, first step is going to be to base coat the skin. I'm using Vallejo Model Air Light Green. So you can see I've already laid down a coat. I'm going to come in with the airbrush, make sure I didn't miss anything. You want to make a nice even coat, guys. Don't miss any spots and really establish that base coat so we can move into the next steps with confidence. Next thing we're going to do is a Nuln Oil wash, or any black wash you guys want to use is just fine. I do this with a brush. Get in there with it, guys. Get all the nooks and crannies, and I wash very, very thick, very heavily. So this will really help you out in the long run to get this wash down early, save you a little bit of time, and really just make the model pop later. Get that contrast going on with the black in all the recesses. So don't miss any spots. This might take you a little bit of time, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. So be patient. Remember not to let it dry too much before you move on to a different area. You want to keep that tide marks off of your miniature and just keep pushing forward. Don't take your time too much with the wash, guys, and remember to let it dry at least a half hour in front of a fan. Make sure it's totally dry before you move on to any more painting. Okay, now we're gonna do some highlights, guys. So I'm coming in with a yellow. You could use a darker or brighter yellow depending on what you want. If you want a higher contrast than this one or a lower contrast, it's totally up to you. I'm doing this with an airbrush, but you could easily dry brush for the highlights here. It's just a little faster for me to do it this way. So keep it subtle, guys. You don't want to overdo the yellow. You want to let some of that green come through in certain areas, build it up a little more in other areas. Basic highlighting stuff. Keep it subtle, build it up slowly, and you'll get a really nice pop of contrast between the green, the dark from the black wash in the crevices, and the yellow building up onto the peaks of the model. Alright guys, the next step, I do a little bit of mixing here, and that's to get an orange color. I find that orange is extremely helpful to Nurgle color schemes. Adds that extra pop of contrast to make some interest on your model and really kind of bring things together. So we're coming in, doing basically shadows here, but don't restrict yourself to just painting shadows. So whatever you guys think on your model here, for this particular model, I like to paint around on shadows and also all these nasty Nurgle like sores and pustules or pustules and pockmarks. Just get in there, whatever you think needs a little bit of interest added to it. Add a varying amount of orange. So you can come in really heavy with the orange in some spots. You can go in really subtly with the orange. And as you can see, as we move our way around the model, it really starts to bring things together and add a lot more interest to the piece as a whole. So to keep it simple, guys, I'm going to leave the skin here. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, but if you want to take it even further, you could come in with different shades of orange and yellow, maybe some brown wash, and those steps will go a long way to even taking this skin to the next level and making it much more Nurgle-y and just nasty. Alright, now it's time to move on to the mechanical parts of this model. We're going to rust them out, make them look nasty, decrepit, and just Nurgle-y. First step to that process, my favorite paint ever, Typhus Corrosion. So this is the technical paint by Citadel, and we're just going to apply a very healthy amount on all the mechanical parts, guys. Get it nice and soaked on there, a very strong base coat. This is going to lay down some texture and provide a really good coverage for the later steps of my rust process. So if you guys are looking for more information on rust, painting rust, and just a more detailed explanation, I'm going to throw a video of mine down in the description. I do a whole tutorial video just on painting rust, so feel free to check that out. So once the typhus corrosion has fully dried, we're going to come in with an orange paint. So this is Rizza Rust. You don't have to use this paint. It's a technical or a dry paint meant kind of for going over typhus corrosion. You can use any orange you want, guys. It's going to do the same thing. And you're just coming in with a dry brush here. You can do it heavy like you see me doing right there. And as I move down, I kind of lighten up the dry brushing and do different various like heavy, medium, light dry brush to different areas of the model just for some variety. And you can do whatever you feel comfortable. A lot of people think maybe this is too orange overall, so if you want less orange in your rust, just do a lighter dry brush. Pretty easy, right? I like to do kind of a more orange rust because of the orange on the skin. It kind of all blends together and looks really nice. So that's my just personal taste. So this step is going to take a while. You're just going to have to put in the time. It's going to pay off in the end, but make sure you get all the mechanical areas. Even the flat surfaces are going to have that texture on it. Pick up real nice from the dry brushing techniques, quick and dirty, and it's going to give you a nice look in the end. Alright guys, the last step in this video, we're going to come in with one more layer of dry brushing on these metal parts. This time, I'm going to use lead belcher. You can use any metallic that you prefer. It's just fine. And as you can see, when you're done, it's going to be really nasty looking. The rust is going to have a lot more depth to it. It looks like there's some areas that are maybe freshly worn that you can see that bare metal underneath. Some areas that have the rust, the orange rust overgrowing. And then underneath all of it, you've got the nasty typhus corrosion, just dirt and grime showing through a little bit. So this technique's super quick and easy, super convincing. I love it. I hope you guys do too. And I think it just looks great. So that's it for part 1, guys. In part 2 for this series, we're going to come in and make this guy look super nasty. We're going to do the detail work, bring the model up to the level of nastiness that we want all Nurgle models to be. I hope you guys look forward to it. Thanks a lot for watching. If you did like the video, do me a favor, share it with one of your friends that like wargaming. It really helps me out and I would appreciate it. So thanks guys. I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye now.